I quit my job 4.5 years ago, and that was when everything really changed. I always felt my whole life that I am meant for something bigger. I started to research the law of attraction. I started to research quantum physics, how the world works, how the universe works. The cash flow I was making from the YouTube channel and my trading and my investments really started to grow like really fast.
Do you use a Bugatti Veyron as your daily?
Nothing is going to change overnight. Some people think so, and then they give up. I never want people to exactly copy my steps, because everything has to happen with your passion and with your identity. I don't know anyone who sold everything at the top. It doesn't happen. No one does that. If you did that, then you were lucky. Some investments absolutely went completely crazy. I made a few investments where I made 500x. I was a cashier. I was stacking shelves, the normal stuff, a 9 to 5 kind of thing. So I lost motivation and I stopped going to school. I dropped out. Then I had a bad period of my life where I was just doing bad things, nothing good.
What were some of the steps in terms of getting the money right so that you could go from $1,500 a month to where you're at now?
Everyone in crypto, they copy everything I do. I knew that if I just start something, universe is on my side now. I think it's very important to take profits.
Quick one before we jump into this podcast. Do me a solid favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below this video. If you're looking to remove images, videos, search results, or fake accounts online, go to contentremoval.com. But don't take my word for it. Here's some music.
Frank, you're a legend. I just saw this. Layla also thinks you're a legend, which in my mind means you're which means you're a double legend in my mind. If you get my wife to think you're a legend, then you're extra cool in my mind. Dude, thank you so much, genuinely. That was such a pain.
Welcome back to the Frankie Lee podcast. And today, guys, I'm coming to you live from my latest Dubai spot, one of the most fabulous offices I've ever seen in Dubai, owned by the man himself, Carl Rinefelt, and AKA The Moon. Oh man, welcome to the show and welcome to your beautiful office. Obviously, I've followed you on YouTube for a while and seen your crypto journey. And when I've listened to you on other podcasts, you've talked extensively about how you've gone from being in a supermarket only a few years short years ago to changing your whole life and becoming worth tens of millions through cryptocurrency and trading. And you talked extensively at the time about how this was due to you manifesting your reality. And when I've listened to you on other podcasts speak about this, I don't feel that people have let you fully articulate what that meant. So could you give me a bit of an insight into, so that some of my audience understands your backstory growing up in Sweden and how you've got to this point, but then also I really want to dive into that manifestation stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me on your podcast. And so it started 6 years ago when I was in the supermarket and I decided I wanted to change my life. And then I quit my job a little bit more than 4.5 years ago. And that was when everything really changed. But I can also go back way back, 10, 15 years ago when I was in school. And I dropped out because I couldn't manage school. I had too much ADHD, too much concentration issues.
Disorder, yeah,
it's very hard to concentrate on normal, boring tasks when you have ADHD. So school, I couldn't do it. And it also made it worse, the fact that I just didn't care about school. I didn't understand why I need those grades, A, B, whatever. I don't care. I don't see how that helps me in my life. I thought making money is what you need. You need to make money and have a decent living, but getting a bunch of letters on a paper. So I lost motivation and I stopped going to school. I dropped out. And then I had a bad period of my life where I was just doing bad things, nothing good at all. And I was depressed. I was even drinking alcohol, not more than most people, but just partying, doing some even sometimes some drugs, with bad people. I had a bad network of people that were lazy people, that didn't want to do anything, that were just partying and doing these different things. And I was just kind of depressed and felt I didn't know where to go, what to do. I didn't have a job, I didn't have an education, and my parents always had huge pressure on me, because when I was very young, they always saw potential, they say. Because I was always very good at math, I was always very good at sports and things. Like my parents always told me, like whatever I did, I always did it very well. So they had high hopes that I would do something very well. So it was a huge disappointment for them when I dropped out, did nothing.
Did you feel that pressure when you were a child of like expectation from parents and stuff like that?
Well, when I was very young, yes, but also I had pressure on myself, so I didn't feel bad. When I felt bad was when I started to realize that I'm not doing anything with my life. 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, somewhere there, when I realized, like, you know, yeah, what am I going to do? Like, I need some kind of idea for my life. But I didn't. And then they were just very disappointed, and they were very anxious about what I was doing. And I just had a very bad period of my life, you know?
So what kind of sparked you changing? I suppose it was more frustration than anything else. You kind of must have felt to the point where you're like, well, do you know what? I really have to turn this around, or...
Yeah, so I was actually living with my parents back then. So yeah, before the supermarket, I was living with my parents, and then they forced me to go to the supermarket. They said basically like, Carl, you have to do something. You have to go get a job. And I basically forced myself to go and get this job because I knew that I need to do something, because otherwise like I'll be homeless. Like I need an income. I cannot live with my parents my whole life, you know. So I started the supermarket job, which was a pretty good turning point, because it made me feel a little bit better, because now at least I had some kind of routine. I went to the job. I had some friends at the grocery store. I was a cashier. I was stacking shelves, you know, like the normal stuff, a 9 to 5 kind of thing. Made $1,500 a month. But actually, this period of my life, I felt a little bit better, because I at least had some income, and I at least had something. But the problem was that after like 1.5 years in the supermarket, again, this like anxiety started to come back. Like what am I doing with my life? Like supermarket, like that. This is not what I was meant to do. Like I always felt my whole life that I am meant for something bigger. I always felt like I have the potential. So my parents saw it, yes, but like I actually felt it myself always, like. Even when I was a very, very young kid, I always told myself and all my friends, like, I'm going to be rich before 30. Like, I don't know how, but I'm going to be rich before 30. And I always had this feeling that I can do something big and something cool. But in the supermarket there, I realized that this is not cool. So I started to get that pressure again. And I got super afraid of the idea of staying in the supermarket for decades. Because I had no education. Like I didn't know what else can I do. Like supermarket, that's all I'm good for right now, you know. But then at some point there, that's when I really like started to realize that it's up to me. Like I had to do something. So I started to research online for ways to change my life. I started searching for like, you know, mindset tips, entrepreneurial tips, how to make money online. I was searching for these things, and I started to research the law of attraction. I started to research quantum physics, how the world works, how the universe works. I mean, long story short, I kind of realized that this is my way out. I can use the law of attraction and attract my dream reality. And long story short, that's like the background info, and then we can get into the whole law of attraction stuff as well.
Well, I think obviously the law of attraction is something that everyone that listens to this podcast and everyone out there has heard of. The one thing that I've noticed with the law of attraction that people kind of seem to miss is the action that needs to take place in order for you to close the gap between what you imagine as your reality and the reality that you want. Am I right in saying that from your perspective? Is that kind of what you realized?
So, first of all, it's not about attracting what you want. The law of attraction, it's all about attracting what you are. And that's what's important to change your whole being. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your energy, your thoughts, your words, because everything you say and think and feel, that is what you are, and that is what you will attract more of. So if you fill your brain and fill your thoughts with negative thoughts and thoughts of lack, thoughts of not being enough, thoughts of everyone hating you, or thoughts of like negative things, you will attract more of that. So it's very important to first of all, reprogramming. You have to reprogram your whole soul, like the whole being, because your energy that you hold inside of you, that's basically your magnet that's gonna attract more. So it's not about attracting what you want; it's about attracting what you are. So I started to use that. Even though I was in the supermarket, I had no education, and I felt really like bad and poor, and I just felt back then I didn't feel like I was doing what I was supposed to be. But I changed everything, and I started to act as if I was successful. I started to pretend sometimes that I was rich. I started to just imagine and pretend and try to imagine how I would feel if I had something specific. So, for example, this watch is a good example. I was a big fan of Jacob & Co. This is the Jacob & Co. watch. And back then I was consuming a lot of content from rich people. So, producer Michael, Jon Olsen, Manny Koshbin, and then also like a bunch of other people, like rich people that made content about their expensive stuff.
Yep.
Because that made me very motivated, because I realized, okay, I could live like this. And I started to visualize and act like I had those things. So, for example, Jacob & Co. I actually shout out to producer Michael, because I saw some of his videos like 4 or 5 years ago when I was in the supermarket. And he bought one of these watches, an Astronomia. Such a beautiful watch. It's like a really incredible watch. And I started to visualize myself having such a watch. So sometimes even sitting, waiting for the train or for the bus, or sitting on the balcony at home, I was just sitting like this, and I pretended I had one, and how I would feel. It's actually very easy to imagine and pretend. Like it's. I mean, our brains are very good at imagining things. I mean, you can dream things. You can think of things like. Every single thing that ever was created started in someone's brain anyways. Like this water bottle, like someone had the idea to create it at some point. There must have been a thought. So you can use those thoughts to attract, and that's what I did. So this is like a physical representation of my law of attraction power and law of attraction journey, because 4 or 5 years ago I visualized it, and now I have it. And it's a very expensive watch. So back then it was like a really, like an impossible thing.
So what would that be in cost right now?
Well, if you go to the store and want to buy it retail from the store and customize it like I did, then I think they charge $900,000 for that approximately. So
900,000 US for what you've got on right now.
Yeah. I was able to convince them to not charge me for making the custom piece, but I paid almost the full price.
Yeah, and I think the reason why you could negotiate on the custom piece was because you did a YouTube video on it, which gave them exposure in the marketplace, right?
So basically, like to customize is like $100,000 or $150,000, and I told them like, look, let's make this together. Let's waive the $150, and first of all, I will wear it daily because I use my stuff. I like to use my stuff, and I know that people in the crypto market will want to buy it because I have it, because that's always the case. Everyone in crypto, they copy everything I do. It's very funny. But so I was able to negotiate it was still very expensive. Like it was still like, very, very expensive, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but incredible watch. I love it.
I just want to step it back one second and really dive into, obviously, you're in the supermarket, you're imagining this alternate reality that you're now visually living in your reality now, and everything and all the abundance you live in. But what were some of the steps in terms of getting the money right so that you could go from $1,500 US a month to now where you're at now? There's a lot of gaps in between that kind of happen. What was like the first kind of few steps so that people can say, okay, well, I can kind of visualize that for myself, so I can visualize myself out of the $1,500 a month to where you went next? Where did you go next?
Okay, so I started visualizing. I started acting as if I was successful, but obviously overnight nothing happens. I was still in the supermarket. I was still same. Nothing is going to change overnight. Some people think so, and then they give up. Even 5 weeks later, 2-3 months later, nothing major changed in my life. However, many big things internally changed. Because I started to feel more happy, I started to feel more motivated, I started to feel hopeful that things will change. And that's actually very important with law of attraction. You have to also believe it. You have to really believe in yourself and have faith that it's going to happen.
It's embodiment, essentially, is what you're saying. You've got to embody every part of it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's actually, if you go to all of the holy scriptures, the Bible and other religious scriptures, they all say the same thing as well. It's all about faith. You have to believe and you will receive. It's like, it's a very, it's like oldest time, you know. It's not something I'm making up. It's not an opinion. It's like, it's a law of nature. It's a law of reality. It's, call it God, universe, whatever you want to call it. But this, there's this positive force out there, whether, if you want to call it God or the universe or
whatever name
name
you want to give it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's within us and it's outside. It is everything. It's reality. It's like it's part of the fabric of the reality. And this energy wants to help us. It wants to allow us to have our best life. But it's our decision. It's always our decision. It's not going to happen to us. It's going to happen through us and with us and by us. So we have to allow the source of energy to help us. But as soon as you allow it to help you, then it really can change everything. And that's what happened to me. So I went from supermarkets to where I am today, you know, in just a few years. And I'll tell you the steps. So, of course, I don't want to say that my steps should be someone else's steps because it's all individual. You know, this was my journey. It doesn't mean that it should be someone else's journey. That's why I never want people to like exactly copy my steps, because everything has to happen with your passion and with your identity, you know. So basically, I changed everything, and then I started to look for opportunities. I started to look for ideas to do something, you know, because I knew that if I just like start something, the universe is going to help me, you know, like the universe is on my side now. And I started a drop shipping business. I don't know if you know, but it's like, you know, you buy or you basically ship products over the world from customers or to customers from different countries. It's like a big online business that many people do. And I thought I'm going to try to sell T-shirts with like cute cats on it or whatever, like these like standard things that people buy and sell online. I just didn't understand by then that I was late to the party. Like people already, it was a saturated market. But the nice thing with me starting that was that I at least got started, and that's the most important thing. Most people never get started. And I failed that business. I started another business with Amazon FBA. Actually, I never even started because I failed before I started, or I gave up a little bit because I didn't feel passionate about it. But both of these two business ideas, drop shipping with what's the name of this website?
Alibaba.
Yeah, AliExpress, these kind of things, you know. This and Amazon FBA, all of these business ideas, they gave me later the idea of starting a YouTube channel and talk about crypto, because simultaneously as I did these business ideas, I heard about Bitcoin and crypto, and then I thought maybe I'll make a YouTube channel and I'll talk about crypto, and I can maybe sell products there, like crypto products, and make money from that. That's how the idea of my first YouTube channel called The Moon came about. So just to make people understand here, my two first business ideas, they failed. But if I didn't do them, I would have never had the idea to start the YouTube channel that then made me the money. And the whole crypto industry, like everything, it kind of led into that. And then, so I don't want people to be afraid of starting something. It's very important to allow the universe to help you, but you have to also like make the first move. You have to like you take one step out, and then the universe comes and meets you halfway. That's how I usually feel, and that's how I phrase it. So starting anything, and the very simple act of starting itself is a very powerful move, because it means you believe in yourself and you believe in your future. Starting is a very big energetic move, and giving up is the exact opposite. It is a very energetic move, but on the contrary, it's like a negative energetic move, because now if you give up, that's a big a sign of doubt. You gave up, you don't believe anymore, no faith, done. You just cut all your opportunities away. Everything that might have been ready to come to you, it's now not going to happen. So giving up is the only option, which can never happen.
But the thing is, you had to give up two things that weren't right for you in order to find the thing that was right for you. So how can they differentiate what they should truly give up and what they should truly continue down the path with?
Well, that's a great question. It's true. I gave up on the dropshipping business. I guess it was mainly because, first of all, I was not able to make it profitable. I also didn't really enjoy it too much. I was putting in many hours without like feeling that it was fun, and I realized that in this business, specifically, I was chasing money more than my passion. So I learned that I need to do something that makes me happy, something that feels effortless. Just going back a little bit, when I made the decision to change my life and my mindset and everything, and visualize, I started visualizing millions of dollars and private jets and everything, but I still didn't know that Bitcoin existed. I had no clue about crypto. Crypto came like maybe 6 months or even 1 year later or something like this, I think. And then I started to research about Bitcoin, crypto, and eventually I tried. I think there was like a couple of weeks there when I gave up a little bit and I just didn't know what to do. But I didn't give up on the energy. I gave up physically on the things, yes, but I didn't give up on I'm gonna make it. Like I'm gonna be successful. I think that's the last thing you can ever give up. That can never happen. You can give up a business idea, yes, because some things just don't work out, and you should never force something that doesn't feel right. But the fact that I was gonna make millions and become this extraordinary person, that was never ever something I gave up. I could never give that up. The day you give something like that up, that's the moment you die. Like you might as well go and I don't know, do something else.
So essentially what you're saying there then is you kept the energy that you were going to be this powerful multi-millionaire that could buy all the things that he so desired and everything that in his vision. You kept that right the way through, but what you gave up was the methods that didn't suit you getting to that goal.
Yep.
Along the journey, and that's kind of the piece that a lot of people miss. They're not willing up to, they won't be honest with themselves enough to say, okay, this method isn't the one. I don't have to give up the main vision, but this method isn't going to take me to where I'm going to be in the main vision.
Yeah. It's very important to be flexible on changing your ideas, and if you are aligned with the universe, you will feel it because it will feel right. It will feel effortlessly. It will feel fun. Just like when you're a kid and you're building Lego houses or building sand castles, you don't feel like you're working, because if it felt like that, you would not be doing it. As a kid, you only do things based on creativity and flow. It's flow state. And that's how it should feel when you build business, when you do cool things. It should you should be aligned and never force something that doesn't feel right, because then I think there's something else that is waiting for you.
So how long was it from when you started the YouTube channel, which is obviously your right thing to do, where you're talking about crypto? How long was it from that point where you got into the right vehicle before you got to your first million?
Okay, first I want to show you an image that I didn't even show it yet on my socials, because I found it just a few days ago. It's a very interesting image.
Show it to your camera there.
Yeah. So this is the image, and I guess we can put it up.
Can I see it?
Yeah, if you look.
Wow,
So this is
describe this moment to me.
So basically, this was the time when I was trying these drop shipping things. I even thought maybe I can sell mugs or whatever. But at some point I thought, you know what? Let me use one of my own little techniques. Like, let me do something fun. So I ordered a mug online, and I literally went in, and it was a white mug, and I in this program put the YouTube logo. And I also put 100,000 subscribers. I typed it out and put it on the logo. And if you look at the date when I took this photo, it was 26th of April, 2017.
Wow.
And that was 6 months before I created my YouTube channel.
That's mental.
Yeah.
That is mental.
Yeah. So that's, that was way before I don't even know if I knew about Bitcoin at this very moment. You know, I just had this idea. I want to have a YouTube channel, you know, because I always enjoyed consuming YouTube videos. So I didn't have any, like, I didn't know how to start it, why to start it, or
so the pieces hadn't landed for you yet. You
nothing.
just you knew you wanted the channel,
yeah,
but you didn't know what the channel topic was going to be about, how that was going to manifest into reality from your sense. But you just knew that there was something in this YouTube game.
Exactly.
And going back to the original one, so when you started YouTube and you started to go along this right path, how long was it from there until you achieved the kind of first bit of financial freedom, so to speak, so that you could then spend your full time on that and you didn't have to go into the supermarket anymore?
Okay, so when I started my crypto channel, and at this time I was learning myself, and one of the reasons to create the channel was also to teach people about crypto, because teaching usually is the best way to learn yourself, because if you teach something, you need to fully understand it. So it pushed me to understand. So I researched every day about crypto, Bitcoin, and started learning about investments and trading and everything. So I had so much fun with the channel because I was basically showing things that I was learning myself. And people enjoyed it, and it grew very fast. In the beginning, I started getting very good views immediately, and I kind of felt immediately like, wow, like this feels good. Like this feels like something, you know. Going back to that, you know, I felt like it was easy and fun, because I enjoyed making those videos and uploading them and seeing the comments. You know, I have so many cool people, you know, they say nice things and everything. So it made me feel good. And, but I didn't make any money in the beginning. And also, the funny thing is, I had so much fun making the videos of themselves that I forgot about this whole selling t-shirts things. I didn't sell any t-shirt on my channel to this day, even though that was one of the main reasons to create the channel. The reason is because I just had so much fun making the videos that I forgot about making money. It was only 6 months later, or a few months later, that I turned on the YouTube ads, because you need like thousands of watch hours.
4,000 watch hours, yeah.
Something like this, yeah. So when I turned that on, from one day to the other, I started making $3,000 a month only from YouTube ads. And that was double what I made from the grocery store. So that was the day I realized that, okay, now everything will change. Because I could literally go to the store tomorrow and quit my job, which I didn't, by the way, which I can talk more about. But I just thought, wow, I make, let's say it was ranging from like $2,000, $3,000 a month. And I was so happy. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Now I'm making money on myself, you know, like a proper, it's a proper business, you know, making content is a business, and I was making money from it. But I still didn't make crazy money. I only made this. So I made $1,500 from my grocery store, $3,000 on my YouTube channel. And simultaneously, I was also making my investments, of course. I was investing and trading, and these
into Bitcoin and Ethereum, yeah?
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also the different altcoins. I was going into a bunch of altcoins, and I started to essentially learn more about investments and trading. And I started, the little capital I had, I started to invest it and try to make more money, which I did. And long story short, I started getting much more views, many more fans, because people just really liked watching my videos on the Moon channel. My portfolio grew, my trading profits, my investments grew, and I also made some good like sponsorships, affiliate deals with different like exchanges and companies, and over time, the cash flow I was making from the YouTube channel and my trading and my investments, it really started to grow like really fast during 2000, I would say 20. 2020 and 21.
I think 2020 is when you really started to take off.
2020 and 2021. Yeah, that's pretty much the story, and the rest is kind of history. Like I grew very fast in the bull market. The channel absolutely exploded. All of the crypto I accumulated absolutely exploded. All of my investments, I mean, some investments absolutely went completely crazy. I made few investments where I made like 500x. You know, I invested in companies, you know, early stage companies.
400.
Exactly, more than 400.
Yeah.
I think by now it's probably like 450. No, not 450, but 430, 440. It's because I'm starting now again since 2 months to start going aggressive again. So I did like 10 investments just in the past like 2 weeks.
So in the bull runs, you're making content, and in the bear markets, you're looking to position yourself in investments that make sense for the next bull run, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, the investments are done in the bear market. Profit taking happens in the bull market. That's very important to take note of that.
Just because I think this would be really useful to a lot of people, whether they've got shares, whether they've got crypto, whatever they're trading. How much percentage-wise are you taking off the table in what they term as a bull run at each stage? Do you have a set kind of parameters?
I don't have a set criteria, but I think it's very important to take profits.
Yeah.
If you make life-changing money, take profits.
I got smacked hard because of that exact thing, you know.
Yeah.
I rode it all the way up from like 18 grand and got caught massively on the back end of that.
Yeah. No, but all of us, like, look, I'm not perfect. I could have taken way more profits. I lost insane amounts of money in the past year because of the portfolio going down. It's everyone did. Like, I don't know anyone who sold everything at the top. It doesn't happen. Like, no one does that. If you did that, then you were lucky. Like, there's you cannot time the top perfectly, but at least you can take some profit. You can sell 10%, 20%, even 50%. Why not?
I read on that topic specifically that you lost 100 million off the top line value of companies that you had invested in one day or something.
Not in one day, no, but like over some time, yeah.
Yeah, which is phenomenal when you think about it. But one of the other strategies I was reading about was the strategy of how you invest your money, and you never take from the principal. You only spend the accrued revenue from that. Can you break that down, that model for me, and how people can implement that? 'Cause I think that'd be really useful. Because you were saying that if you invest the 10, you don't spend any part of the 10. You never spend any part of the initial investment. You always only spend the money it generates.
I never spend from the principal. I only spend from the cash flow. So that's true. If I were to spend from principal, it's only if it's like literally like a very solid investment, like it's an investment, or like salaries. Like, it has to be like a business idea where the purpose is to make more. But if I go spend, let's say I want to buy a watch, or I want to buy a car or something, I would only buy with my profits I made that month, for example. I would never like go back and take from my savings. That's very important. So I never took from my savings to buy something.
When you buy the watch and when you buy the Bugatti that you bought, phenomenal car, I suppose in your position you're able to write that off as some as like, and generate money against it for marketing as well. I suppose these things have generated you money, have they? Rather than costing you money, because essentially you made a YouTube video on the watch, you made a YouTube video on the car. I presume I don't suppose they've made as much as what the watch or the car cost, but they do somehow offset the cost of you purchasing the good, right?
Maybe the watch, because this watch doesn't cost me anything on the monthly basis. It's very hard to quantify this. Like, I don't know. It's tough. But the Bugatti, for sure, I didn't make any money on it. It's a huge cash heavy asset. It costs a lot of money every single month. I would highly advise not to buy a Bugatti Veyron.
But why did you buy a Bugatti Veyron? Because I just when are you ever going to get time to drive a Bugatti Veyron? Because you always working.
Well, almost every day I take it to the office. If I go to restaurants, usually I take it. So I use it, I would say, almost every day.
So you use a Bugatti Veyron as your daily?
Let's say every other day then.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And was that something as well that when you were back in the day visioning your future, you envisioned as well?
Yeah. So this goes way back in 2006 or 7 when the Bugatti Veyron was announced by Bugatti. Even back then, when I was a young kid, I knew that this is the ultimate car. Like, this is the one and only. Like, this is the most like successful people in the world. They have this car. And one time I went to the south of France with my family, and I saw this car there. You know, I just thought like, wow, this is incredible. Like, imagine the people that have this kind of car. Had a dream ever since I was a little kid to have a Bugatti Veyron, Grand Sport, the convertible version, and ever since then, it's been the only car I really want, you know. So the time when I felt, look, I could just easily go buy it now, like on a monthly basis, I make more than I could just go like, you know, go buy it. So I thought, why don't I just go buy it then? Like, it's my childhood dream. Usually I don't buy many things. I buy few things, but very nice things. Things I really want, or really like, or really need. It was tough for me to justify the Bugatti in first, because I was like, I don't need it. It's an expensive car. It's like, I don't need it. But again, I just thought, it's my dream car. It's like, it's the number one car in the whole world. Like, let me just go buy it, you know? So I just went and bought it.
Yeah, because otherwise you're putting an energetic block on yourself on what's truly possible with your own mind, which is against everything that you've said throughout this podcast. Obviously, I'm conscious of time, and I know we've got to wrap it up, because obviously you've got a meeting and stuff, and I'd like to do a longer episode with you at some point, because I just wanted to get as much powerful information as this for the people that are listening right now as possible. But the last question I want to ask you, if you had to check out the world and you've got to leave the watch, you've got to leave the car, everything behind the office, the staff, the investments, everything, but you could just leave one piece of golden wisdom that you think can move everyone in this audience further forward in their life, what would that piece of information you leave be?
Use the law of attraction, because it can change your life very fast if you allow it to do so.
If you allow it. And is there any place that you suggest that people go for a reputable look of where to best learn the art of what you're talking about?
I mean, I read many things, I watched many videos, but actually my YouTube channel, Carl Runefeld, I created it to inspire people and to explain how the law of attraction works. So some people think that I made this channel to just show off. And I am showing off, but I am doing it for a very specific reason, you know. Just like I was consuming this content from other people, I was watching these successful people, rich people showing their expensive watches and cars. I enjoyed watching that content when I was back in the grocery store. So now I want to give back. I want to make, my idea was to create a YouTube channel based on what I wanted to watch myself back then. And I want to make it even better. I want to show how my life is now. I want to show all of my expensive things. And more importantly, I want to explain to people how they can also achieve these things. And maybe some people don't care about watches, but if they want to have something else, it's the same. It's just physical things. It's just material things. Like it's all the same. It's just energy. So it applies to literally anything. And my YouTube channel is really meant to inspire, and on my Instagram as well. So if people want to follow me there and just get inspired, that's my most important mission right now. And of course, some people are always going to be like, "Oh, Carl, you're just showing off all the time, blah blah blah," you know. But they don't have to watch my videos, and I didn't make those videos for them anyways. So
you're just making it because it's all part of your vision. And no one that hates on you at any level of the game is ever you know, it's obvious that they're not any further forward than you.
Yeah, it's so funny. Look, especially on, like, you know, Twitter, I see like these like haters, blah, blah, blah. But if you go and check their profiles, they always have like, they have 20 followers. They have anonymous pictures. Like, they are literally like nobodies. They're just jealous and they're sad. And I feel bad for them, because the fact that they are sending these messages online
blocks their growth.
Yeah, it proves that, it blocks them. It puts them in a box, and it's just a bad energy. And that's why I never reply to these people, and I never give them attention, because if I give them attention, then it's just, you know, bad energy, negative energy. I want to focus on people that enjoy what I do and enjoy the message that I spread, because those are the people that can actually also, you know, listen and change their life. Because those like haters on Twitter, they will never ever take my advice seriously. You know, it is really their loss. You know, I speak to the people that want to hear this. I speak to the people that want to change their life, and to those people, I'm super happy to help out. You know, I answer comments every single day on my YouTube channel and on Instagram. When people ask me about law of attraction, about things, I try to reply to as many as possible. Even sometimes on my Instagram DMs, I get people saying like, "Oh, hey, Carl, you changed my life." And sometimes I message back like, "Well, it's just hard." You know, I don't have time to sit hours every day, of course, but I just give them a little bit, just something, you know, because it's the least I can do. And giving attention to these people, it's really good for them and for me and for I think humanity. Like if all of us always only focus on positive things and focus on making things better for each other, then I think the world would just be a better place. So people should stop spreading negativity online. Literally yesterday I saw a video of like a girl online that she made some like face filter, and then she took the filter off, and then the first comment was like, "Oh, put the filter back on, you're so ugly." And I was like, who makes this comment? And even crazier, it had 600 likes. Like
yeah, and that's exactly what you're talking about, because every one of those people that like the comment, and the person who wrote the comment, you've all just told the universe essentially that you're not worthy of the next level up yourself, and you just put an energetic block between you and what you want. So you get far more in life by being positive towards each other.
Yeah, it's such a sad thing that online people are so hateful like this, because this lady doesn't deserve that. She didn't do anything wrong to anyone. And yeah, I even replied and said like, "This is such a sick comment, so stupid," something like this, because I had to say something I think was so stupid.
Yeah, and that comes down to the moral compass as well. But I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Guys, do me a solid favor. This one's a short one, but I wanted to get a short, powerful one out with Carl while we have time. And I'm hopefully going to follow it up with a longer one with Carl, where we dive deeper into business and all the other stuff that I want to dive in with him. But I wanted to keep this powerful and actionable so that you can implement some of these strategies in your life today. Move yourself forward 1% and keep moving forward at that pace too. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and much love.
Guys, do me a solid favor. Drop a comment below this video and let us know who you want on the podcast next.